Mike, it seems like the Bruins are not happy with the situation that Charlie McAvoy finds himself in and that they find himself in. Does that not bode well for Four Nations going forward?
What are you asking me for? You just had the hematology expert, orthopedic expert, Lyndon Byers on. He's got all the freaking answers. Are they calling him for consultation on this matter?
You had the same experience that I did at one point and did an actual show with Lyndon Byers. What was that show called? Was it called Meatheads or something? Do you remember that?
No, well, whatever it was, it didn't last very long. But I'll tell you this. I took we went to arbitration with Lyndon one year, the Bruins.
Yes.
I was the one that presented the case. And to call it savagery is to underestimate its viciousness. I mean, he had no goals. He had no assists. He had no points. He had no ice time. He was out of shape. It was like, just stand there, Lyndon. Let me shoot arrows at your body.
I believe that, if I remember correctly, he was not a fan of yours for a while after that.
That's too bad. It makes me want to cry.
But I think you guys mended fences.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah. But Lyndon just didn't like to work regularly, as you know. You must have found that out at some point or another. It was not one of those things that came naturally to him. Yeah. Having a party was really at the top of his list, and he was very good at it.
Yeah, he was excellent.
Not like a good party, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah. Now he parties.
They show you guys talking about reality TV. If Lyndon in his prime, if you'd followed him around, would have made a great show.
100%. 100%. So I don't know. You have been a Four Nations hater. I've been the opposite. I loved it, but this is the reason why I'm guessing you're not a fan of it.
Well, it's listen. I was certainly a fan of the game on Saturday night, and I have to take it back. I mean, without any practice sessions to go by, without any kind of chance to come together as a team. Maybe we could thank the Canadian fans for booing the anthem that brought them all together. But it was a show. It was a throwback kind of a game, and that was great to watch and fun to watch. And I'll freely admit it. And tonight's game, I don't think will have quite the same tone because if you're going to win this game, you're going to have to control your emotions. You're not going to be able to let it loose, and like they did in the game on Saturday night, you're going to have to make sure you don't take stupid penalties and wind up in the box and give Team Canada, which has an awesome group of offensively talented players, a chance to do some damage. And you're going to have to look at the goaltending to be extraordinary for Team USA if they're going to have a chance to win this thing. But I am looking forward to it. I take it back. It's been fun to watch it, and I still think it has some problems, and certainly I don't know what's going on with Charlie. I mean, I'll talk to Lyndon later on today and see if he can give me the update, but I feel bad for him that he seemed to elevate his game, and all of a sudden he's hurt, and I was hoping that elevation would carry over to his play with the Bruins, but it looks like it's going to be a while before we get to see some of that.
Yeah, I brought that up early this week as a lead, that he seemed to be a different player in those games, and it's unfortunate that he doesn't get the chance to continue. But he's
playing for his father-in-law, right?
But he's also that kind of player in the playoffs. I think I just feel like he's willing to ratchet it up and hit guys and do more in the playoffs than he is regular season.
Well, I think that applies to just about everybody on the planet. I mean, you can't play at that tempo for 82 games and then double it up with another 25 or so in the playoffs. You're going to run out of steam. You got to measure yourself at some point or another. But anyway, for him, it's really unfortunate because it was an elevated game that he was displaying, and I was hoping for more of it down the stretch so they could get the Bruins to a playoff position.
Mike, you know better than anybody else, and I one of the questions that I'm always asking, and I'd love to maybe hopefully get the answer, is whether they're Canadian players or foreign players, do they hold tournaments like this to a higher regard than winning a Stanley Cup?
I don't know that when they get here and play in the National Hockey League, they hold it to a different standard. But try to put it in a historical perspective. Before the Swedes and Finns came here, the World Championships that are held in April in Europe were the gold standard for them. So those international tournaments made a huge difference, and I think it's rooted in their culture, hockey culture. And so I think when they get the chance to play in these international tournaments and they ratchet it up a notch, but to say that, once they get here and they're making $8-9 million a year, that's more important than a Stanley Cup. I don't know. I don't know how to measure that, but I do know that when Finland and
who's calling?
I don't know. It's potential spam.
What's it?
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of that spam stuff
Gets you
lately.
every
What is
time.
Yeah,
that?
it's nothing you can do with spam.
You can fry it.
Where were we?
What is your ring song? What is that?
I don't know.
That sounds like the standard one right there.
Yeah, it's a standard ring song.
Yeah.